What if poverty is not a failure, but a result? That's the core question sitting at the heart of a book that I just recently finished, and I believe it is why this book still sparks debate decades after it was written. Before I talk about it, let me know if you've read this book or if you find this interesting enough to add it to your TBR. Open Veins of Latin America by Eduardo Galeano is a sweeping history of how Latin America's wealth has been extracted for centuries and sent outward to benefit colonial powers and later global empires. Galeano starts with the earliest days of conquest, focusing on gold and silver, and especially places like the mines of Potosi. He shows how enormous riches flowed from Europe while indigenous communities were left devastated and local economies were built around serving foreign needs. As the book moves forward, Galeano shifts to plantation economies built on sugar, coffee, and bananas, and along with some other exports as well. These chapters make it clear how monoculture farming locked entire communities into dependence on an unstable global markets. Instead of building diverse economies, many regions were shaped around producing one thing for someone else's profit. One theme that runs through every chapter is labor exploitation. Galeano traces this line from forced indigenous labor systems from slavery to later low-wage work. Over and over again, the extraction depended on not just on land and resources, but it was built on controlling people. Even when countries gained political independence, the lives of working people often changed very little. Later chapters move into the 20th century and focus on oil, railroads, and foreign corporations and growing U.S. influence in the region. Galeano argues that extraction never really ended, it just changed hands. European empires faded, but multinational corporations and local elites stepped in to take their place, continuing many of the same unequal relationships. One thing that really stands out in this book is Galeano's writing style. This is not a dry academic history. His prose is emotional, vivid, and is openly critical, which makes this book feel urgent and personal. At the same time, some of his economic arguments have been debated, but it is worth keeping in mind as you read. This book was also written in the early 1970s during a tense period of political struggle across Latin America, and that context shapes its tone and urgency. Reading it today, I wish I could see just how Galeano would tell this story as if it continued to unfold through the late 20th century and early 21st centuries. I included Open Veins of Latin America in my 2025 reading curriculum because it challenges readers to think critically about history, power, and global inequality. Even if you don't agree with everything that Galeano argues, this book asks important questions about who benefits from the way the world is structured. It's not always an easy read, but it's a very meaningful one.